and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we are looking at Thoughtful Blooms, which is a celebration stamp set, which means that you can get one of these absolutely free for a qualifying order of £45. So spend £45 in the annual catalogue or the new mini catalogue and get this one absolutely free. I really love this because it's got lots of little tiny weeny little pieces on there, which is great for sort of building up scenes. So I've chosen Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape, and I've chosen Pool Party and Coastal Cabana, and I thought that we'd sort of just have a play around and make a pretty sort of patterned card using these. So I'm going to ink this up first of all, and we're literally just going to take them down in full strength and half strength, just sort of running them down on here so you get some lights and some darks coming through and running off the card. So that looks quite pretty. And then we're going to do exactly the same with the light Pool Party. So let me just grab my scrub for a second and just give this, I need to give it a bit of a wash actually. Getting pretty grubby. I think I said that last time. Right, okay, so we're going to do exactly the same thing with this, and we're going to take this one from the side. So 3 times. And then we'll do exactly the same up at the top here. I need to re-ink this Coastal Cabana because it's not very bright, but it'll do. Okay, so we've got those sort of blues and purpley things going on, which I think is really rather nice. And now we are going to in fact, I want to balance it. I want to take those purples out to the corner as well. So let's go back to this Highland Heather, and we'll just take a few out onto the side like that, and we'll do exactly the same up on here. So okay, that's better. So we've got the blues and we've got those sort of purples. I really like those sorts of tones. So now we are going to take, so those are the lights. Now we're going to take the Coastal Cabana and the Gorgeous Grape, and we are going to add something in the centre. So what do I want? Do I want a little tiny weeny one, or do I want a big one? I think I want the tiny weeny one because that I think will work better. So let's just put that one on here, and then we will have the, let's do the Gorgeous Grape first, and we're literally just going to, whoops, says me, nearly throwing it everywhere. We're going to just fill in the little centerpieces. So we need to do exactly the same thing. So I'm just going to take it on here. My lights are very bright, so it's difficult for me to see exactly, but we'll have 1, 2, 3. So we're getting the lights and the pales in there. So dark one, middling one, pale one, dark one, middling one, pale one. Whoops, that was completely out. I think my eyesight's getting worse with old age, but it doesn't matter hugely because it's sort of a background, so you don't have to be, you know, don't panic sometimes if things aren't absolutely perfect. At the end of the day, it's a card, and by the time you've put a sentiment or something like that on it, it really doesn't matter that much. So let's just put that one, and that one in. Okay, so that's quite pretty. Clean it off, and then we're going to do exactly the same thing in the Coastal Cabana, which should be darker. And again, we're going to do it as 3. So we'll have a dark one. Oh, these are fairly pale. I might have to do them virtually in full strength on these, because I do need to ink up my, get that one in there, yes, just do need to re-ink my my colours. Being a bit frugal with my re-inking at the moment. In there. Ooh, don't want one quite that. These are quite pale ones, so we're just having little ones in the middle. Okay, so we've now got those in there. Now what I want to do as well is to take, which is one of my favourite ones out of this, because it just sort of lends itself to the backgrounds, and it is this little one like this, which I think is rather pretty. So with this we need to just sort of add some tones in on there. So do I use the purples or the blues on there? I think I'm going to just jazz it up a bit, and we'll have the dark high gorgeous grape on this. So I'm just going to add, oh yes, that works nicely, doesn't it? So I'm doing all of these full strength. Whoa, I needed to just see if I can get that almost right. I got a rock on that, that's my fault. So we're just trying to fill some of these pieces in on here. One on there, have one in on there, one just off on there, and we'll put one in the centre there. Okay, so that's the ones with the dark. Now let's just go back to the Coastal Cabana. And we'll put some in the centre of these. Okay, so that looks, oh, maybe one just up there. With those things, you look at it and you go, is it balanced? Is it balanced? Yeah, I think that's about right on there. Okay, so we've now got another pretty background with this one, and then we can do what are we going to do with it now? I think we're going to just add something on here to make it look rather pretty. So I'm going to this time just take some of these this flower, because I haven't used this flower yet. So we'll take little set of this flower, and we'll have the, should we have that one in the centre of it? That is quite pretty, isn't it? We might have that one in the centre. So I'm just going to do a little row. These are sort of scrappy pieces. We can do this fairly quickly. So we'll take our flower, and we're going to do it in the, we need to have a mixture of them, don't we? So let's just do some ones in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. I'm just going to clean that off. Bear with me 1 second. I just need to let my doggy in. Come on then, in you come. My little dog had just gone into the garden to spend a penny, and I'd just remembered that she was still outside, so was sitting there patiently, and then went, actually, I need to come in now. Okay, so those are the pale ones on there, and then we'll take let's do it in Coastal Cabana as well. I quite like both of those colours together. So let's take the other side, and we'll do should have put these up straight, shouldn't I? These are quite pretty little patterns. I like these. So that's those. And then, oh, I did those in the darker one, didn't I? Never mind, never mind. Okay, so we're going to take this little one, and this one is going to go in the centre. So I'm going to have to do it with the same colour, which is fine. So I'm going to get my head in so I can try and get this as accurately as I can. Oh, that's nice. Oh, I like that one in the centre. A little bit of an angle, but that's fine. Okay, so that's that one. It's quite nice. I say they're so pretty that you can build so many little flowers and things with them. So this is going to have the gorgeous graping, because I do like that dark tone on the pale tone. So that's tone on tone. This one is going to be, oh yes, that's even nicer, isn't it? And to be quite honest, you don't have to be overly precise with it. I'm just sort of laying it down the best I can, but not being overly fussy on it. Okay, so now we are going to do a little bit of a sneaky. I've had this little, I think it was Petite Petals punch for a long time. It belonged to another set that we did, and it fits absolutely perfectly. So it means that I don't need to invest in, says me, who's got this at a bit of a cockeyed angle, but it does. I don't need to invest in another punch. It's not absolutely perfect, as in there's a little point on the top of these ones, but to be quite honest, you can snip them off if you want to, or you can just keep them on, and they just give you another little look to it. I'm not the fastest at punching out, as you can tell. I have to sort of line it up and then wait a bit and then get it in when it's almost straight, which is about there. Now let's go and do these blue ones. Just get a bit woggly with my hands. So turn around and say, old age is a wonderful thing. It makes you appreciate everything more. You know, you see youngsters and they're flying around doing things at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and as we get older we tend to take our time doing things, and it's always like there's no rush in the world. I've always said with my videos and things that if you're in a rush, you can always fast forward it. In fact, my grandson taught me how to do that, pressing on the screen. I've just dropped one on the floor. Pressing on the screen with your finger, and it'll speed it forward 10 seconds. And I'm like, oh, that sounds good. So I'm exactly the same when I'm watching videos. I watch some of them. Sometimes if I'm in the mood and I just want to spend some time, I will watch them all. Other times I won't. So now what I'm going to do with this is, am I going to do them in the same sort of layers? Yeah, I think I probably am actually. let's have a look and see. So if we have our sort of purple flowers in a bit of a gathering like that, and then we can have our blue ones running down sort of like that, and then we've got 3 of those, haven't we? Oh, there's only 2. It's a bit of a one that should be a little bit more balanced than that, isn't it? Never mind, I think that'll sort of work. So we need some dimensionals in here. Let's take these dimensionals out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then have I got 5 of these? 2, 4, 5. Yes, I think I've got 5 of each one, which is fine. I like to do things in odd numbers. So I've got these little scrappy pieces left, so it's very much waste not, want not. So let's just snip some of these up, and we should be able to use most of these up now. Whoa, that one fell on the floor. We won't use that one. Well, we will, but not until I've scrambled around to pick it up again. Put that in there, that in there, that in there. Okay, so you can see how you can get quite a lot out of your little bits at the back. You can pop them on wherever you want, or I think that's probably gone over the edge a bit, but never mind. Put these ones in on here. I'm muttering again, aren't I? I do tend to mutter quite a bit. Comes from being... I live here on my own with my little dog, which is very sweet and lovely. But it does mean that apart from when I see my family and things, I do lead a fairly solitary crafting life. So I do spend a lot of my time muttering to myself, which I'm sure a lot of you can relate. So we're just literally just going to put these up over the top in just a bit of a pattern with no huge rhyme or reason to it. We're just going to put these sort of in slightly together, slightly not, doesn't really matter. We're just sort of building up a bit of a design on here, and you can print as many as you want out. You can get the punch if you want to. If you've got this old punch, it'll work absolutely perfectly. If you haven't got any punches at all, you can fussy cut them out. It's not a particularly difficult design to do. So let's just put those in there as a little line. Oh, I think I've just dropped one on the floor. Yes, I have. It's a purple one. That's 3. Now what I might do is to just put these in sort of coming together. So I've got 3. Is that a purple or is that a... I think these are really pretty centres to these. Quite like those. Now we want to sort of tuck this one in on here, don't we? Tuck that in that way. Matter if it comes over the top of there. No, that looks fine. And then I've got one more down on here, which I just dropped onto the floor. Luckily it landed and I hadn't taken the dimensional off. So we can have that one, and we can have that one just in on that angle down. I think tucked in down here will work quite well. Okay, so now you've got a really rather nice little pattern of flowers going on. I would use some gorgeous grape as the background again, because I really like the gorgeous grape. So that will work nicely. And then you can just add whatever sentiment you want. I think I would probably just put, I'm just going to put a little thank you, I think, on here. Let's see how big this thank you is. Oh, it's quite small. That might work quite well. And what I might be able to do is just put that in on here. Take this one out. I'm going to do it in the gorgeous grape because that will mean that it will tone in nicely. So let's get the gorgeous grape out. And then we'll put this one on here. Always the time of year to do lots of thank you cards. Oh, that's nice. So we've got a little thank you on there. And then we just need to give it either a punch, or let me see if this punch will. I don't know whether it will. It might cut it off a bit too much, but ooh, I think we might just manage that. Trying to be a bit careful with it, but I think there we go. So that has actually given me a thank you, which I could put in. Although I've just realised I've done it in very vanilla and not in Whisper White. So let me just get, I've got a little scrap of, that'll do, won't it? Let's just do this again very quickly because I want to get it in the wrong. But that shows you can actually get that little thank you out of the punch. And I'm sure if this punch punches it out, I'm sure the new one will punch it out perfectly. So just put that on there. Thank you. Take that punch. Just have to sort of line it up a little bit bigger than like that. And then we'll put that on with a bit of, have I got any, oh yes, I've got a little bit of dimensional left on here off the edge. Almost finished those edge pieces off now. Like that. And then that can be tucked in, I think probably just at the side. Just in on there actually. So we can tuck that piece and that piece up on there. And we'll just have a little piece like that that just says thank you. I think that works quite well. So you could always add a base for it. I'm not going to stick it on and everything for you now because you know how to do that, but if you wanted to just sort of twinkle it up, you know, just a little bit more, you could always add, we've got some lovely different sequins and rhinestones and things. These are the Noble Peacock ones, which they probably don't have exactly the right colours on. I can't think what colours they've got. Does it tell me? No, it doesn't, but you know, you could sort of tone in. They do have the gorgeous purple on them, so you could just add a couple of those about if you wanted to. You could add pearls to the centre. You can finish it off however you want, but I think again, as a card that stands alone quite nicely, it's very pretty. So thank you so much for watching me. Do look forward to seeing you again. Bye bye.